The women that I work with are smart, successful, high-achieving women who aren't afraid of hard work. They're willing to do whatever it takes to master the areas of their lives that they can't seem to master. And there's one piece that sometimes gets overlooked that I want to talk about today, and that is how we can use God in our life to help us find the love that we've always wanted. For the best love, dating, and relationship advice you'll find anywhere, hit the bell, subscribe so that you get notified when new videos post every week. Just like the women that I work with, I too believe in hard work and sheer grit and getting the things that we want. And for years, I really haven't utilized God in my life or the Spirit for helping me get the things that I want or helping me master the areas, those pockets that I haven't been able to master. And I remember I was really struggling in my business. And it was this one particular day that I was grossly pregnant with my 5th child. Yes, I have 5 kids, and I'm pushing my double bob stroller in the streets of Boca Raton, Florida, praying to God to help me get this problem resolved. I just couldn't figure it out. It didn't matter how much time or energy I put into it. I couldn't figure it out. And as I'm praying, of course, I'm not getting the answers, right? Because God works on His time, not on our time, which is another reason why I very rarely would utilize Him, because I'm not a patient person, which my husband would attest to. But I was desperate. So I'm praying as I'm sitting here walking. I'm praying out loud, God, please help me with this. Please help me to resolve this. I can't figure this out on my own. Nothing. No answer. A couple days later, I end up getting a phone call from somebody who asked me to serve this class, to teach this class. And it was something that I didn't want to do. I felt like it was a waste of my time and energy. And I just thought, so this is the answer to my prayer, is that I'm supposed to go out and serve other people on this level in this way that I didn't want to. The class that I was supposed to be teaching, I felt like everybody in the room had more knowledge than I did on the topics that we'd be discussing. And so I was intimidated. I felt insecure. I wanted to tell them, no, I'm not going to do this. But I felt called to do it. And so I ended up agreeing to teach this class on a weekly basis. And what ended up happening for me is I gained so much confidence in myself through teaching this class, through learning that I knew more than I actually knew in the way that I could inspire others. Although this was a benefit, it wasn't an answer to my prayer. But what's weird is 2 weeks after that happened, the answer came out of nowhere. It just showed up in my life. It was so easy. It flowed in. For me, I'm always about hard work and grit. But sometimes we need to ask God for His help. And sometimes we need to do things that we don't want to do to grow as a person in areas of our lives that we don't really want to look at or we don't really want to do. And then all of a sudden, doors open in other ways that we didn't even think about, that would just all of a sudden show up for us. So if you're somebody that's struggling right now in life in certain areas, and you're looking for answers, you're doing the sheer grit. And I still believe in sheer grit. We can't just pray it away. We can't just pray for all the answers. The teacher's always silent during the test. God mostly is silent, and He's not always going to answer our prayers in the way that we want Him to. To be honest, I still struggle with this. But I found that the times that I really pray hard for the things that I'm needing in my life, on God's time, He answers them. God is mindful of you. He sees you. He's not going to give you all the answers to the test. But from time to time, we will get the cheat sheet. The problem that I was struggling with immediately was resolved with very little to no effort on my part. Because I went about my day, because I served where God asked me to serve, help people that God needed me to help in ways that I didn't feel like was necessary or what I wanted to do. But deep down, we know what we need to be doing. And what's so incredible in the way that God works is He works through our thoughts. And when we slow down and we listen to them, He's communicating with us through them. So if you're in a place of struggle and you've been praying and you haven't been getting answers, and things come into your life, listen to the thoughts of how you should take action on them. Every single day we're having opportunities for growth. Every single day God puts people in our path to serve, or trials for us to overcome, to grow our spirit. If this is you, pay attention to those thoughts, to those opportunities, and take massive action on them. That's the part that trips people up the most, is the thought may come in, and then we give a reason why we shouldn't do it, usually out of fear or insecurities, which was for me what was happening with teaching this class. But I decided to take massive action and do it anyway. So if you're needing something in your life, and you're watching this right now, as soon as you stop this video, I challenge you to pray immediately. If you're at work, if you're in your car, if you're grossly pregnant, walking down the street, it doesn't matter where you are. You can access God wherever you are. He's waiting to help you. But He may not help you in the way that you think He should help you right away, which is usually how it is for me. But the moments that I've had major breakthroughs, it's because A, I asked. And then B, I took massive action on the opportunities or the thoughts that came my way, even if it didn't make sense at the time. Is there a reoccurring thought that you've had in your life right now that you haven't been taking action on? Take action on it right now. Say your prayer. Listen. And whatever comes, take massive action on it. And if you're curious of other ways that you can take massive action in your life to create, architect, and cultivate the lifestyle, the love, the dreams that you've always wanted, book a discovery call with me at www.kelliehatch.com. I have been there. I still am there. I'm human and I still have struggles. But the thing that I've been able to do over the last decade is create a formula, a framework. It's called the original Imprint framework. And what it does is it takes you back to when you first arrived on planet Earth. No, you don't go back to being a baby or a 1-year-old or a 3-year-old physically. But what we do in that framework is we take off the parts and the pieces and the programming. We rewire the programming back to who you were when you first came here, so that you can then see you the way that God sees you, feeling totally worthy and enough. Whatever it is that you want, if you ask God, am I worthy of this? What do you think the answer would be? So why don't you feel worthy enough? Why, when you look in the mirror, you don't see what God sees? Because you've been programmed to see something else. And what it takes to get back to your original imprint encoding, back to communicating with God and seeing yourself the way that God sees you, back to never settling for less than you know that you deserve. It takes releasing those limiting beliefs, recoding a new habit of thought, and rewiring your body back to who you were when you first arrived on planet Earth. Back to being perfectly you. Imperfectly you, but knowing that it's perfect because it just is you, authentically you. If you have any other questions about the original Imprint and framework, leave it in the comments below. I'd also like to hear about your spiritual experiences. I love hearing these stories because I'm still on a journey right now with my relationship with God, with trusting those thoughts as they come in, with praying and waiting to hear the answers, and waiting for the right answer to take massive action on and trusting that. So if you've had experiences around that, I would love to hear it to feed my own beliefs around God and trusting in a higher power. I hope you have a wonderful day.